Okay, and I bet you're wondering what happened to my hair. Why do why do my eyes look like they're different sizes? I think it's got to be allergy related. Anyways, hey, let's here, let me here we go. I just I normally turn on my stream on YouTube as if I'm watching it, like as if I'm just a regular person watching it, and and then I have the sound on for a few minutes just to see if everything's going right, and then I turn mute the sound so I can refer back to it if I want to. So that's what I was just doing, if you're wondering. Uh, yes, it is. I'm just answering a reply off of YouTube. Somebody made a video and their voice is way too quiet. It's not your speaking that's quiet. It's the total. It's the uh, mic volume. I had to crank it up to 75 when normally I have it at about 30 or thereabouts. Okay. Anyways, all right. So what am I doing today? What I'm doing today is, let's show you what I'm doing today. Okay, so on Friday, okay, so let me say a thing or two first for anybody that's listening or watching. Uh, Today I'm gonna have to leave early, so this is gonna be a shorter day. And I decided, okay, so maybe I should show you first what I did last week essentially on Friday. Let me go to okay. So I'm putting all my development stuff here on my home folder under a folder called Dev Stuff, including Redot here. And let's run Redot. Shadowlands Phase 1. Uh, should I edit it or should I run it? I'll edit it to show you what I did. Okay, so I explain all this stuff in another video or at least another live stream. I haven't put out any video updates just yet because I'm still working on editing them and stuff. In fact, I'm only just now almost done with my first video update, which was from all the way back from November. But in any case, it doesn't really matter. This is a room descriptor, and these technically are rooms here with choices that you make. And so um, this is your start room here, and you have all this text here, and then you can go to different rooms. And I just did just a basic thing just to kind of get stuff going, but I realized that I need a narrative for the whole story. In the end, it's going to be quite a bit bigger, but I need a short story, and then I need this first phase. And if you don't know what I'm doing this in phases from easiest or simplest to more complex. So it's not a point and click adventure yet. It's going to be eventually. And I'm doing this in phases. In the first phase, the basic adventure game is a choose your own adventure style. So I don't have no inventory, no specific puzzles or anything. And it looks like my stupid cover just fell down again. I don't know. I must be moving too much these days. At least on the streams here. Let's get this back up. I'm not really trying to hide the chair. Originally, it had this vinyl smell on the chair, and so I covered it up with this blanket, and it's been on here ever since. But occasionally, it comes down when I move a lot. So, but it's been bugging me even more lately. So, anyways, here's the study. So, and all your choices are basically in one description. It's just a single label here in Redot. Um, or if you've ever used Godot, it's just exactly like Godot, um, but it's a label. Okay, and then here, let me do a brief run real quick. Right, main menu, and main menu is the same way. This is just the text description, a text label here. The 3D scene is because later it's going to have some 3D elements to it. But I'm putting some of the scaffolding and stuff in it early. Like later when I start adding images, um, I might add them as 3D sprites, even the backgrounds as 3D sprites, and I'll start doing that later. Anyways, so menu, and then you hit any of the number keys, either the number keys or the numpad. So we just go to start. This is the page. Welcome to Channelland's Magical Vacation, etc. and so forth. And you were Hubert Halfway was a character who had half of his magic stolen. I'm not going to go through that because I've already went through that story. In fact, I'm going to go through and I'm going to come up with a story that includes this stuff um, in a short story form and see how much I can get done, how short I can make it that still tells the full story. Okay, so here's the choices. Hit 1 if you wish to go to the study, hit 2 if you wish to go to the hat room, hit 3 if you wish to examine the book of spells, right? So 1, here you see a ton of books, you start to look through them, and then I have no way of going back right now. I'd have to hook that up right now. But I decided I didn't want to do that because I was getting right to the end on Friday that I was supposed to get off and get off the computer, basically. And so now, instead of continue on with this page here, with this game, I want to make a short story. Let's do something. Let's copy this. Okay. And I'm going to do this as kind of a quick short story format, and not just what are these little gray square bracket things? Because it's not in everywhere. It has something to do with. It's like this. It's like there's opening square bracket and closing square bracket, and I don't get why that's there or how that's there. But it is, and it's kind of annoying. Anyways, there must be like a key combination that I do, like spaces or something that it counts as like paragraphs or some similar thing. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna try to get through as much of this as I can in a short amount of time as I can because I gotta go do stuff today, and I'll have to cut this short early. Okay, so Enchantland's magical vacation getaway is situated in the sunny nexus between worlds, where the ridiculously wealthy can. Wait a second. How come? Okay. Uh, where the ridiculous can indulge their fantasies true to life magic kingdom that makes its money on tourism fall on hard times. Okay, this is just a description of the thing. So honestly, I don't need this again. And you probably, if you watched or listened or heard me talk about it, you probably kind of know the story, at least the opening a little bit. But I'll go ahead and read this through real quick and see if I need to modify this because instead of doing multiple choices and stuff, I want to make the choices based off of the story. and so that's what I'm going to do here. Welcome to Enchanted Lands. Seek a magical vacation, slay a dragon, rescue a princess, become a great and powerful wizard, or stay at one of our many fine hotels. Anything is possible. At least that's what the brochure says. Enchanted Lands, the magical resort kingdom, is not doing so well. The king seems to be acting strangely. Um, and Enchanted Enterprises has been bought out by Enchanted Holdings, Inc. And administration has closed various magical training schools, and Dark Precedence has returned from Managed Realms. Okay. Now I put this here. Is there no one that can solve these mysteries? Will the schools ever reopen? Will there ever be any more stupendous vacation deals? Stay tuned. Um, this is meant to be like a blurb, like a um, like a dust jacket synopsis kind of thing, and so that's what I was putting that here. But if I'm doing a short story here, um, I gotta just tell what's going on here. Uh, it's not doing so well. The king seems to be acting strangely, comma. Enchanted Enterprise has been bought out by Enchanted Holdings. Enchanted Holdings. We'll leave the ink off. I don't strictly need it. I don't know if I'd need it if this was something that I was going to publish in as like a book, but and it's not a book anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. Has been bought out by Enchanted Holdings, and the administration castle. That's what it is. It's administration in this. Since it's a real Magic Kingdom, so it has a castle. In fact, the castle's in the clouds. Um, but since they resorted to tourism, all administration of the resort is managed through the castle by the king and his advisors. Okay, so it's closed various magical training schools, and Dark Presence has returned from banished realms. Hubert Halfway is your standard old wizard. No one knows his real age, but he has a long white fluffy beard and is currently sporting a pony blue hat. While in the castle one day, that is the administration castle where Enchanted Lands is run, he overheard a familiar female voice. Uh, in fact, I don't need that because I put that up there. While in the castle one day, maybe I should capitalize castle because it's part of a name. Maybe I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter because it is just a word, but at the same time, it's part of the name. So while in the castle one day, he overheard a familiar female voice speaking to some other male regarding buying up the lands. When he went to the king about it, the king simply dismissed it. In fact, he acted rather cold toward Hubert, even though they had been friends a long, long time. Hubert tried to go to the different schools, but they were all closed except for night school, and he couldn't get any answers there. Trying to go to any restaurant or hotel also yielded no help. He realized he couldn't trust anyone there, almost except one old friend. So he decided he needed to get some outside help. Um, Now, this is where I started the game part of it, where I say Hebert goes to his home, steps to the front doors to a small foyer where a medium-sized table sits in the middle of the floor, and tops a large book that reads Book of Spells. Walking to the table, he looks to the left to see the study. To the right, he sees what looks like a room full of sailor hats adorning the walls. To the north is the rest of the house, but knowing he's got to get busy, he decides to not go through the rest of the house. The important things are either in the study or in the hat room. Um, that is kind of what you put in a short story. In short story, you still have the description, but we need to get to what he's actually doing here. So when Hubert arrived at home, uh, okay, so I still got to decide. Okay, so the idea is Hubert is going to need to find a way of bringing somebody from another realm, and that's going to be our realm in the story. Uh, Earth and whatever. Um, Specifically in the U.S. because I'm in the U.S. and that's where our character is from the U.S. Okay, just to establish that. Um, and but Hubert has kind of a problem. Half of his magic is gone, and that means whenever he casts spells, the spells kind of don't work. They work part way, and it's just up to random chance, what and luck, what part does and doesn't work. Um, so okay, so the thing that he needs to do is in the story he sets up a convenience store for you outside the U.S. It's just a store where you buy candy and drinks and snacks and stuff. Not a full on grocery store, but just a smaller store. I don't know what you call convenience stores outside the U.S., but so Hubert sets up a store there and sells John, which is our main guy from our world, a candy bar or a chocolate bar if you prefer. So the thing that I have to think up is, okay, so how does he do this knowing that half of his magic is going to affect half of the spell of whatever he decides to do? And and I have to think about this kind of puzzle wise in a sense, but I'm still trying to write a narrative here. So let me think of something. Let me think of a few things. Um, One is that he can avoid spells entirely. Um, and by that, I mean maybe the store already arrives in our realm. And if you know anything about the story, and if you don't, that's okay. If you watch any of these, you'll start to pick up the story because I repeat a lot of stuff. But in the story, the only way you can get into Enchanted Lands is if you have some Quicksilver, which is the magical mineral that the whole resort runs on. And in this case, Hubert gives him a silver ticket in his Benny Wonky chocolate bar. And yes, that is on purpose. Meant to be it's meant to be humorous, mildly humorous. But and really turns out to be a coupon for a free candy bar. But it also contains Quicksilver, which is why it's a silver coupon. And so he's able to get into the realm via the silver coupon. So the one option that I can do where Harold really or Harold was his original name, and it was going to be a running joke about it being similar to Harry Potter, and I guess kind of decided not to do that. It might have still been funny, but anyways, because he was known as Harold for so long, I kind of slipped back into that. Hebert is actually a new name that I kind of came up with um, because it's not very common, so it sounds kind of interesting or whatever. It sounds different. Anyways, Hubert could not decide not to use his magic. He can use any form of Quicksilver. It could be a coin. It could be in a coupon or ticket, um, and it could be in any form. And he happens to have some on his person, and so he can go to other realms, like our realm, and then he could probably uh, take over an already existing convenience store, and that is kind of how you get around using a spell to do it. And but he still would need to be able to take control of the store, even if he doesn't have to, conjure it up or create it or whatever. So so I have to think whenever he casts a spell, it's going to only work part way, and so I have to think of what part, and then I have to think of how creative that is. And sort of a problem I have right this second is um, I'm trying to write this as a narrative, so I'm not. I don't want to spend too much time on like puzzles and things. In fact, this is so early in the game that you may not want to make it super difficult. But we are actually starting the game with Hubert, and so he needs to figure out how to do it. And um, now getting to our realm and getting back to Enchanted Lands is not a problem because he can just do that. He can just open a portal anywhere basically that he wants, and so that isn't reliant on his own magic. So the one obstacle I have to get over is, or that Harold Hubert would have to get over, is being able to take over a store. And you know, you could say a spell to put somebody in a trance or something. Um, could be funny about it. Could say that he does a simple. There's other things he could do. He could be using potions or something, which doesn't rely on his own magic either, per se. Um, but as far as him casting a spell, that would affect him. So, so maybe he casts a spell to make somebody fall asleep, but it only works a few minutes at a time, so he has to keep doing it. That might could be a funny thing. Another thing is he has to come up with a potion, some sort, sleep potion, which wouldn't necessarily rely on his conjuring skills. And then the other thing is that he conjures the store out of thin air, but there might be some problems with what comes up, what he can actually do. So maybe it's devoid of any snacks or something. Um, if you were writing this as a movie or a cartoon or anything, this would actually be a first obstacle. In fact, it would still be a puzzle when I actually get to puzzles. So this could be a solution to a puzzle that I actually type out here. So I'm not really sure what I want to do. Uh, 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 when I figure this stuff out, should I type out the different scenarios and then just see about implementing it later, or should I just pick a scenario that I like first and just write it out and just do it? Or maybe I should do the scenario that I like first, and then the other possible scenarios I can actually put in the same document. Like I could make it like a note, like a note below. I could put one alternative or whatever, see alternatives or something. Um, so yeah, so he knows his magic doesn't work correctly 100%. Um, so he's gonna try to want to minimize the amount of spells he casts. So let's think. Um, like I said, later on, if I do puzzles and stuff, there can be three methods of subduing the of doing the convenience store thing. So, like I said, he can conjure up the store, except there's gonna be stuff missing when he does that. Um, he could he could look up some stuff to make a sleeping potion to knock out the store manager, um, or cast a spell on him to knock him out, or cast a spell on him to make him do his what he wants to do. So I have to think of that and I have to come up with it. Not really sure yet. So, uh, okay. So let's see. What am I going to do? I know I could. Let's see. Well, I don't really have the notes. I just have that he comes and gets, and in fact, in between the plot points, I made a gap on purpose so that you could so I could come up with puzzles and stuff to put in later. And so now having the choices, this is kind of hard. Um, I guess if I come to a spot, okay, so this is to help me with the game part of it. So I guess what I could do is I could write down the three choices and the solutions to each, and just write them as solutions, which would help me when I actually get to the game part of it. Uh, he set to work trying to come up with a method of getting John to come to Enchanted Lands. Hubert had observed John for okay, so and I'm already assuming that you know what John is. I mean, even if I told you and you knew it, of getting that help. Um, after visiting Cerulia, and that's what it's just going to be called. And the only okay, so I started. Okay, so the princess is from Verdant, and Verdant is a kingdom, is a realm that's full of like greenery, like vegetation and stuff, plants and cool stuff like that. So it's mostly green. Cerulia, we think of the Earth as blue, the blue marble or whatever. It looks blue in space, and so cerulean blue is sort of like a skyish blue, I think. Uh, in fact, I think I heard the first heard the name of that blue from what was it? Oh, what's his face? Uh, just when I want to say something, the thing goes right out of my head. Um, Happy Little Trees. What's his name? The artist? Why can't I think of him? I mean, it's like he's like everywhere. I mean, I he might even still be rerun on PBS, but like you can find him everywhere now. Um, Dang it, what's his name? This drives me nuts. Happy Little Trees. Dang, Bob Ross. What? Yeah. Okay, so Bob came to my head, but Bob Ross did for some reason did not want to come, and I know Bob Ross well. That is, I don't know. I didn't know him personally. I just mean I watched his stuff well when it was on PBS a long time ago. Occasionally watch it. Sometimes I just turn it on and like you can find Bob Ross everywhere, but it just would not come up here in my head. Um, Anyways, he would use cerulean blue in a lot of his paintings. That was one of the I think that was one of the colors he used. Um, but I was looking for a synonym for blue because now apparently I'm naming the realms, at least from Enchanted perspective. I mean, we're on Earth and we're in the solar system and all that stuff. But the kingdoms are kind of based on what they look like, sort of. And so our realm is Cerulia. Um, he spotted what he thought was the perfect candidate. And at the risk of extending the gameplay, or at least taking too much time, this could actually be like a puzzle here. He needs to find the perfect candidate, somebody that he can bring back to Enchanted Lands with him. Um, That's another thing that he could do. He could actually just ask him to come with him. I mean, he's got the way in and out, so he doesn't need to actually conjure up anything or whatever. So we'll have to see. His name was John. He worked part time at the library with his mother. Okay. He wanted to become a fantasy writer and thus spent most of his time reading books or writing stories. After some observation, he observation, he noticed um, John's John always he noticed that John always stopped by. I think in this case, John is like 19, so he's not at school anymore. Stop by the, I guess I'll say mini mart. I'm sure there is a convenience store called a mini mart. You know, like a 7-Eleven or you know, Circle K, um, or any one of those major ones. But yeah, by the mini mart, we had um, we had something up in Oregon called Plaid Pantry, which was the little convenience store that was all over the Pacific Northwest, basically, U.S. Well, it did, you know, just in Oregon and Washington, I guess. Um, but I don't really want to use like I either have to come up with my own store name or some sort of generic term like a mini mart or something. Yeah, you know, mini mart. I could just say convenience store. I could just say store. Plaid pantry. The plaid doesn't have anything to do with anything. Pantry kind of has to do with food. I always come up with something. You know, what one thing you'll know what a convenience store is if you ever watch The Simpsons. Or you probably know what a convenience store is anyways, even if you're outside of the U.S. But uh, remember the Quickie Mart from The Simpsons. So that's basically what these little stores are. You can usually get some food like sandwiches and stuff. You can get snacks like chips or crisps in the UK, or you know, candy bars, drinks, that sort of thing. Lottery tickets sometimes. Sometimes alcohol and like cigarettes and stuff. Lottery tickets. I already said lottery tickets. Anyways, okay. So always stop by the. I think there was actually one called Minute Mart too, back in the day. Not just you say mini mart like that. I actually think there might be an actual little mini mart, but there was one called Minute Mart, I think, by the local. Here, let me look that up because I think Minute Mart does sound very familiar. Let's see here. Now this is pronounced Minute Mart. Uh, South South Central and Western Kentucky. That's not nothing to do with Oregon. And I'm not looking for that apparently misspelled Minute Mart, Oregon, we'll say. That's right, Gresham. Uh, I don't know if that says Minute Mart Express though, but maybe that's what we called it. That's that's interesting. Orient Drive. That's right. Huh. Maybe it's only actually like just a local thing. Maybe that's the deal. It actually has a website. I don't even know if something still exists. Like, this might not even exist for all I know. I know it says so in the map here. Anyways, I think it was called Minute Mart, and it could be this one, this Minute Mart Express. And let's see some here. There's a picture here, right? Yeah. I don't think it had the express part of it though. See, convenience store. That's right. Maybe they were gone even while I was still living there. Let's call it the Minute Mart. Northwest Firearms. Oh, interesting. Oop, about Minute Mart, Phoenix, Oregon. What? No, that's Minute Market. That's not the same thing. So that Minute Mart Express is the only one. I think that they used to be. I think they used to exist, anyways. No, it's got to be that. Maybe they were bought out or something. Huh. Minute Mart Express. Gresham. Minute Market. It's not Minute Market. Interesting. I know. I guess I'm kind of wasting time right now. Buy Mart is different. Minute Market is not anything that I never went to a Minute Market. Anyways, I guess it doesn't really matter that much. I can just put anything here. See, this is a problem I kind of had by the local. Here, let's put Minute Mart, even if the Minute Mart Express still exists over there in Gresham, Oregon. Uh, to pick up his favorite Benny Wonky chocolate bar. Okay, give me a quick second uh, while I pause here. Okay, I had to do something real quick, and now I'm back. Let's see if there's my head again, my big bald head. And let's go back to this. Let's go back to the webcam. Alrighty, so John always stopped by the local Minute Mart to pick up his favorite Beniwaki chocolate bar. Uh, so that night he decided to let's see, portal to realm. We'll say afternoon. Afternoon. After work. We'll say after work. So that evening, he decided to open a portal to John's realm. I went to the store ahead of him. Okay. So now Hubert is at the store, and what's he going to do? Okay. After pulling out a few different hats, he arranged them on his head and cast a sleeping spell on the, we're going to say, on the manager. Okay, we're going to say the manager is there by himself. We'll say only one guy that's running the little store is a single. Okay. Not, and then put the manager back in little office in the back and close the door. The problem with Hubert is that he has only half of his magic, so he didn't know at what time the spell would wear off. It was intended to work for 1 hour. And actually, if he's halfway, if it's half, then it's supposed to only work 30 minutes. Let's do something here. But since Harold, how about he didn't know, not, that means a spell would only partly work. In theory, that means that a 30-minute sleep spell might only work for 15 minutes for having to be recast. Okay, so and this might be a thing to introduce the player to Hubert's abilities. The hat system was a funny idea. It doesn't sound funny when I say it, but it'll be funny when you do it. The idea that I came up with is the way you cast spells is by wearing a certain amount of hats in a certain configuration, and they're all different kinds of hats. You know, German mountain climbing, you know, fedoras, top hats, you know, ladies hats with like birds and whatever, just all kinds of different hats. His traditional pointy hat, uh, you know, beret, all kinds of different hats. And I thought of this because I thought of how in the Lucas Arts or Lucasfilm games, if you go early enough, Game of Loom, uh, that you would come up with a spell via notes. So each of the if you did the notes in a certain configuration, it did a spell. And so I was thinking, hey, let's just do something that's visually silly, you know, by having him have like these hats stacked up on his head in order to be able to cast a spell. And so that's how I came up with that. Uh, so, uh, so then Hubert waited for John. Only didn't come within the time he was expected, and Hubert had to recast the spell several times before John entered. Okay. In fact, that could be a thing too that I could do. It's funny. I just keep on coming up with these ideas. I'm not really sure where to put these ideas though exactly. I mean, other than um, in this text here. Maybe I should do it in like brackets or something, or maybe I should in fact, I should go ahead and put some of these ideas down because that will help. And you know what? I should have started recording some of this. Okay. Here. I'm going to go ahead and record some of this because I'm not going to have any footage for this update if I don't record something here. So, recording. Okay, so let me read this back here. All right. All the schools were closed except for night school. Trying to go to anywhere. Okay, he realized that he couldn't trust anyone there, almost except an old friend, except one old friend. So he decided he needed to get some outside help. When Hubert arrived at home, he set to work trying to come up with a method of getting that help. After visiting Cerulia, he spotted what he thought was the perfect candidate. His name is John, and he worked part time at the library with his mother. He wanted to become a fantasy writer and thus spent most of his time reading books or writing stories. Uh, and I should add, he also uh, didn't have many friends and had never been on a date, even though he was 19. Now, obviously, if you're writing this in a book, you're not going to want to do this like, oh, he didn't have many friends, he hadn't been on a date, or especially if you're like doing a movie, right? Because you want to show it somehow. You don't want to just like tell it, right? Anyways, of course, this isn't going to be great literature or anything. This just it's something that I can work with when I implement it in the game. Okay, never mind. After some observation, he noticed that John always stopped by the local Minute Mart to pick up his favorite Beniwaki chocolate bar after work. So that evening he decided to open a portal to John's realm and went to the store ahead of him. After pulling out a few different hats, he arranged them on his head, cast a sleeping spell on the manager, and then put the manager back. Uh, let's uncapitalize that. Put the manager back in a little office in the back. Put the manager in the little office in the back and close the door. Problem with Hebert is that he has only half his magic. That means the spell would only partly work. In theory, that means a 30-minute sleep spell might only work for 15 minutes before having to be recast. So then Hebert waited for John. Only John didn't come within the time he was expected, and Hebert had to recast the spell several times before John entered. Now, notes here. I'm going to put some notes. Notes. Uh, Having to recast a sleep spell many times could possibly be in the game. Let's see. 30, that means only. Wait for John. Let me think. Where the player doesn't know how long it will take or how many times they can have Hubert cast the spell. Okay, was there anything else? Let's see. Okay. Could also have Hubert conjure up a store out of thin air, but then part of it then maybe let's see, then maybe only part of it would exist. He could also cast that spell several times to see what parts do exist, and finally find one where he could still sell a candy bar, even though part of the store was gone or didn't work properly. Okay. Maybe what I'll do too is I'll leave this in as via the separator, just where it is, so that I know where it is later when I read through it. Okay. Okay, guys. Just a second. Let me see some here. Oh, I forgot. I am still on my webcam, of course. That's what I always forget. Instead of going to the desktop. Not that it matters if you're listening, and it doesn't matter at all if nobody's listening or watching. So that's okay. So I'm gonna switch to desktop now, so you can see what I put here. Anyways, having to recast a sleep spell many times possibly be in the beginning where the player doesn't know how long it will take or how many times that they can have Hubert cast the spell. Cause have Hubert conjure a sort of thin air, but then maybe only part of it exists. He could also cast a spell several times to see what parts do exist, and finally one where he could still sell a candy bar even though part of the store was gone or didn't work properly. What was the other thing that I thought of? I thought of a couple of um, I guess I'll just leave the notes for that there because I don't remember exactly what my third method that I was thinking could be. But I just start doing the notes here. Okay. Actually, let's go back up here. Oh, and we don't have a space after that. That's all right. Okay, so um, John finally did come into the store. Uh, John finally did come in the store, bought his wonky bar, and left. And then opened it as he was walking away. Hubert then returned to Enchanted Lands. Okay. Now there's a thing in here, and one of it is, where's another thing for notes? I was thinking that he would try to look and see what kind of spell he could come up with. Well, already there's some spells here. There's a conjuring spell, and there is a sleep spell. And so, okay, I have that evening he decided to open a portal to John's realm. Um, but not, okay, here, let's just add, but not before uh, going through his house to pick up a few items, like checking out the spell book on a table in the foyer, and then going to the hat room and picking up a few candidates. So he's going to basically plan on uh, going over there. I need to add that in because that might be a thing later in the game. Because part of the deal is you're gonna have to figure out how to bring John to Enchanted Lands, and of course one of the ways is by getting him some Quicksilver, and that's where you find it in the coupon. And then now there's one thing he could have done is he could have just opened a portal, went it in there, and then brought him with him back into the world, and that could be a thing maybe. It's like, okay, so if you're playing it or if you're watching it, you're going, well, why don't you just give him a ticket to start? Why do you go through all this rigmarole? Why can't you just go into our world, hand him the coupon, and leave? And that is actually a very good question. How come he couldn't do that? How come he couldn't just grab him and bring him into Enchanted Lands? Why would he need to come up with this elaborate scheme to do so? Um, you could say that if he just did that, he'd be kind of incredulous, and he wouldn't. And for one thing, he wouldn't know how to use it. In fact, I don't even know how you use a Quicksilver ticket because I haven't really come up with that yet. So, all in my notes, all I have is that he takes a bite of the bar and then it opens a portal. Um, but maybe that isn't the case. Uh, maybe he needs to read it or something. Um, Okay, so he's not going to return to Enchanted Lands just yet. Why? Because um, he isn't going to return. I can take this off for a little while. Uh, because what he left in the candy bar was a coupon for a free candy bar. Um, how does that work? How would that work? Okay. In several versions of the story, he gets the free candy bar, and then he goes to Enchanted Lands. But the coupon is only to get him into the lands, so he doesn't do that. He goes home, right? He goes home, opens it up, uh, notices the coupon, and then he reads it. In fact, maybe it could be a running gag that uh, maybe that he's trying to redeem the coupon throughout the whole game. That would be kind of cool. Uh, Finally came in the buys the bar and left, and opened it as he was walking away. Hubert then returned to Enchanted Lands. As as John was walking home, he looked at the see, when John opened the candy bar, he noticed a silver ticket which read, "This entitles Bear to one Benny Wonky chocolate bar and in uh I guess I should say fine print, right? It's like a fine print. Like a small little letters at the bottom. Print entrance into the sunny Nexus worlds to visit the only true, the only real live uh, Attic Kingdom, Lands. Hmm. I could do a crack like this is the only real Magic Kingdom. Uh, Lands Magical Resort. Okay. Let me check something. Yeah, you're gonna find when I want to check some of the OBS, I'm gonna switch to the webcam here from desktop to webcam. So um, looks like I have been streaming. Well, technically I've been streaming. Let's see. Really, I've only been streaming about 30 minutes. About like I've been streaming almost 2 hours, but a part of that it would be more like an error, huh? Um, I'm not sure the exact time that I actually started working. In any case, yeah. And in the fine print. After flipping the ticket over, it read, "Please say these words aloud." And what kind of magic words could I say, or what kind of phrase should I say? Make a lick a high, make a hiney ho. Make a lick a high, make a chiny ho. I could do that one. And if any of you know your Pee Wee's Playhouse, you know that those are the magic words that Zombie spoke in Pee Wee's Playhouse. So what words? Okay, we'll just do a generic. I would like to visit. Please, please take me to Enchanted Magical Resort. Okay. Let's do another notes. Quick note. What the heck happened? Okay. Notes. You could have the ticket read something different every time John pulls it out. That would be good. I am sleepy. I'm sorry. I had a couple of hamburgers for lunch, and so now I'm just sleepy. Um, Something different every time John pulls it out. Um, uh, Maybe even every time he turns it over. Obviously, this is not going to be in the Choose Your Own Adventure. Not all of this stuff, because all this stuff requires like inventory and whatnot. Okay, so as soon as he did this, a portal opened in front of him into what looked to be the inside of a train car. Okay, so now we're up to opening the portal. Okay. He walks in, and then the portal closes behind him. This is a thing that I kept repeating. This little intro scene that I had played out in my mind. Conductor comes up to him and tells him to take a seat, which he promptly does while observing everything going on around him. Okay. Just then, he sees a small, round little man jump out of the seat in front of him, go to the front of the car, and put a device on the wall, and then returns to his seat. The car started shaking violently. And then stopped. So from this angle, he can only see down the aisle, and he sees the man, and the little man comes, puts the device on the dealie, comes back, sits down, starts shaking violently. Then it started to tilt forward as people started falling out of their seats. The short little man then ran over to another seat up front and heaved a beautiful girl over his small shoulder, which made it a pretty I don't know what word I'm looking for. Probably because I'm about ready to fall asleep here. I don't know what I was going to say here. He's small, and even though she's not huge or anything, he's still somewhat bigger than she is. She's still somewhat bigger than he is, but yet this little man takes his whole body and slings it over his shoulder, and then takes off. I've also left something out here. Sprinkle some kind of dust that sparkled, and then slung a beautiful woman over his shoulder, as small as he seemed. Okay. Then carried her over to the car's door and opened it and jumped. The last thing John saw was the girl's eyes pleading with him before. No, that's right. He couldn't see that. This is okay. This was the last thing John saw before he blacked out. Okay. Alright. Now. I have a feeling this is going to take a while and that this isn't going to be super short like I want it to be. Okay. We'll try. When John came to, he noticed he was lying on the ground in a forest full of trees without leaves. Sort of like winter, but realized the air was a bit warm. Okay, so it's clearly not winter, but it looks like winter. Just then a man with a pointy hat approached him and helped him to his feet. John looked around to notice that there was junk everywhere and people were waking up and stumbling just like he was, and observed the junk was really just debris from the train. He was riding. Where am I? Asked John. The man with the pointy hat and beard said, "Welcome to Enchanted Lands." I'm not sure. Okay, so he's kind of disoriented. He looks around. He sees all the debris. He sees what looks like other train cars. And this little dude with the pointy hat is approaching him. Uh, Enchanted Lands? Asked John. It sounds kind of funny writing's inherited, though. Yes. You've no doubt heard about that other Magic Kingdom. You mean this? It's gonna cut him off here, and I had an idea, and it just slipped out of my head. Yes, that one. Well, this is a real Magic Kingdom. Okay. So at this point, I don't know what to say here. How does John respond to this? We did. Yes, that one. Well, this is a real Magic Kingdom. Well, it doesn't look very magic to me. What happened here? You were on one of our famous flying trains, and somehow it crashed. Only dark magic can do something like that. Why, in all my years of being here, not one flying train was ever late, ever crashed, or ever had a problem until now. Until now. Um, what exactly is here? I just told you. Magic Kingdom. Right, right. Okay, so at this point he doesn't really believe him. Exactly. Um, I don't necessarily want to have a long conversation here, but at the same time, I'm just trying to give some more context. And John being disoriented, not knowing what's going on. I guess you could tell that it was a train, but it was crashed. Um, so how is he going to get? How is he going to get John to? Um, hmm, how's he going to get John to help him? Okay. Just a sec. Until now, exactly what is here? I told you, Magic Kingdom. Right, right. Or maybe you should say, sure, sure. So, um, why am I here? I need your help. You need my help? Enchanted Lands has closed for the most part. I have no idea why. Enchanted Lands has closed for the most part, and you have no idea why. Would you quit repeating everything I asked with another question? No. Quit repeating everything I asked with another question. Would you quit changing whoop, everything? Oh, that's not what I want. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to be a little bit funny here. Uh, here. Okay. You quit repeating everything I'm saying as a question. Would I quit Enough. I need some help in determining why things are going so bad, so poorly. He chose poorly. Determining determining determine determining and I'm helping determining why things are going so poorly. Didn't you just use magic? And can't you just change it with that? Okay. I'm not sure where I wanted to go with this conversation, but we want to get some info to the player. What's going on? I need some help determining why things are going so poorly. Did you just use magic? Can't you just change it with that? Uh, One thing, my own magic. I only have half of my own magic. And it's a long story, so I won't bother you with the details. Secondly, I don't really want my enemies to know what I'm doing. Uh, until wait, I really want my enemies to know what I'm doing until I actually do it. Why me? You, my boy, are the perfect candidate. With your mom, a girlfriend, into books all the time, regular friends. Uh, let's see. You, my boy, the perfect candidate. Live with your mom, no girlfriend, into books all the time, no regular friends. I guess. Oh, girl fiend. No girl fiend. I don't think I'd want a girl fiend either. Girlfriend maybe, but not girl fiend. Uh, I couldn't have chosen a more perfect candidate. Um, okay. So he's not really insulting him, but he's kind of telling him how it is. Uh, I have friends. Uh, I don't read books. Oh, the time. Okay. I think I'm spending too much time in this dialogue, huh? I should just get to the facts, right? I'm gonna leave this in though, but Hubert then proceeds to tell him why he's perfect for the job. Eventually, John relents. Okay, so okay, they're in the Force of Forgetfulness, but I don't have a real big role for that, so I don't know if that's going to still continue to be that way or if it's going to play a part later on. So I'm not really sure. Uh, okay, so at this point is where uh, John goes to the Knights Academy and Hubert tries to slip into Wizard U to find some information. Okay. I have to go check out my notes. I think I'm gonna take a break here just because today I'm super sleepy and today is not necessarily the greatest day here. And apparently I've been talking on my webcam the whole stinking time again. That's okay. Hopefully most of you are just like listening. But that's good. That's a lot of yelling. Going to fall asleep on your own stream. Yeah, no kidding. Um, I'm going to see maybe about some coffee possibly and something else to pick me up. Um, so I don't know. Give me about 10 minutes. I think. Let's see. What time is it? 1:32. Shoot, I might have to um quit here soon, anyways. But so give me a few minutes. I'll be right back again. Okay, I'm back. Been up for very long. I knew this had happened anyways, but I was practically falling asleep anyway. So I guess, oop, not that. Uh, I'm gonna quit in just a sec, but I'm gonna write a few things down here for later. Um, okay, so Hubert sends John over to night school because we call him night. We're calling it night school now instead of Knights Academy. Uh, John over to night school to get some answers. I guess let me look real quick. John John Thomas will do that. Um oh return I don't think I have John Thomas in this little thing here. The king starts doing odd things. Kidnap Princess Karen. Experiments again. Oh, that's weird. Okay. I mean, I guess that whatever. That's whatever. All right. Here. There we go. Friends. Good silver ticket. Adventure begins. Let's go down again. Let's find the next version here. Uh, silver ticket. 7 bit bar. Vortex closed. Train. Uh, okay. Okay, that's there. John Thomas. Stone candidate. Game walkthrough. Usage of the interface. I probably I think I originally had this idea where you had to get a library card, you had to do this, that, and the other thing, and then you eventually had to go to the library. And I might should maybe even put that back in there because I had this whole thing of you playing John before he actually gets to go into Enchanted Lands. But that was when John was going to be the first character you interacted with at the beginning. Stoked to put in shrink cabin, kidnap a woman, blacks out. All the cars and baggage pass the stream route, giving the impression they fell from great height, surfing the land around them and forest of trees. Looks like the winter's taken all the leaves, only it feels like a storm bridge by wizard named Peter picked him up to help him find out why Chandler has fallen in the hard times. And then John rescues the princess. And that's all I have for that. So from that into the middle. John overcomes the gnomes. Okay, that's the plot. Just searches for her while helping Wizard in his investigation. And then finding out where she is. Okay. Recruits John Thomas. Okay. Okay. Selling chocolate bar in our world. Asks his old friend the Count for help in finding the princess, figuring out who owns Enchanted Holdings. So far I don't have anything, and I do have my notes. Um, I might should have just did a find on um, let's see here. Oh, he's 21 in this at this point. Girlfriend. So and the good magic lands. And train begins adventure. 39. Okay. Transported. Okay. Finds to do main plot points. By somebody. Find his way out of the forest with Hubert. That might have been one of the things I intended, because the Force of Forgetfulness, or originally was called the Force of Fading Thoughts. Um, I was going to, I might have had a puzzle or two about getting out of the forest here. I may still do that. I don't know yet. After some detective work. See, in this point, Roy finds out where the Count finds out where the princess is being held. But in this point, it's after some detective work. So, okay, so he's trying to find. Huh, interesting. Only to find her trapped in the wine cellar. Points. You would find John Thomas. Huh. All right, so I don't really have a lot of stuff here. I have to actually come up with something here, which I mean, it shouldn't be hard in a way, but in a way, also, um, I hadn't come up with anything in my head here. So in between here and I'm not sure what Hubert is doing in the meantime. I have to actually look at his uh his plot outline to see if maybe at this point he goes over to find the Count to get some information, get him to help him get some information here. Um, like I haven't thought everything through, right? I'm gonna have to go in a second, but let's see. Okay, so before I do anything else, let's go back up to the top here. Uh, Night. Let's just go to Night. Uh, Knight's Academy. Closing down the training schools. Okay, got it. Re Max reopens the Knight's Academy. Uh, get the Knights to fight for them. Sir William was on tonight. The Black Knight. Sir William Devane Esquire. I don't remember if that's what I did, but I did. I think that's fairly new, maybe name wise. Anyways, Knight, Black Knight, Black Knight, Knight's Academy, Unicorns, Knight. Wait a second. Royalty. A quick note about royalty: they're not a distinct race. Boy can become squires, eventually work their way up to knights. Only knight can become a king. Must enter a contest against others, eventually challenge the current king. If defeated, the king must pass his crown to the knight that defeated him. Okay, so this is something. This is an idea I had early on, which could remain, or could make a comeback, because at some point John gets voted as king. So at one point, they vote their king and queens. Um, uh, and here only a knight can be a king, and that could still be a good way to go though. But never done in anger, as if it's shown to be in anger and not in the spirit of friendly competition, knight can be disgraced and shamed. So even though you're allowed to challenge the king and fight or contest with him, the king can, at his own discretion, de-knight the person. So yeah, so you better not. Uh, okay, girls do something similar, become lady in waiting, and work their way up to princess. However, a new queen is only picked when a knight becomes king through the challenge, and that becomes king must pick from the available princesses, even if there's only one. A daughter born to the king and queen is automatically a princess, but still must be picked. If the king and queen want to marry their daughter off early, they can encourage a knight to challenge the king. The new king still gets a choice, though. At times, it might be necessary to elect a new king rather than through challenge. And I think that's kind of an interesting way to rule it, sort of. Uh, and that's okay, but that's not what I'm interested in right now. Knights Academy. Uh, oh, yeah. Okay. So here's the earlier dealy. This part of like a kind of a walkthrough, right? John Thomas. Okay. John is at the home. He speaks to the screen. Before embarking on adventure, you should probably learn the system. This is a thing that I was going to do. Like I said, when you first start, you were going to first start at John as John. You weren't going to first start it as Hubert. He then proceeds to instruct the player on the use of interface. He finds such vehicles and words from here on out. You're the boss, the big cheese, the head honcho, number one, numero uno. You get you get the idea. You're in control. Let's see how well you do. Player that is then allowed to roam around. The first item he needs to get is a book that talks about enchanting. The book may be located in various places in the library. You may wander around outside a few streets, his house, a store. He needs to find his library card too, which may be in different areas of his home. To take the book out of the library, he needs a library card. He must read the book and take it with him if he wants to get the candy bar. Okay. It still involves the candy bar, though. Uh, he needs a library card. He must read the book and take it with him if he wants to get the candy bar. The candy bar can be in a store or in his house. Okay. Must be unwrapped to get the silver ticket and a bite to open the portal, not eaten. That's interesting. I don't know what my idea was for that. The bite or being eaten shouldn't have anything to do with it because the ticket's the thing that does it. You may find a boy searching for a bar with a golden ticket. Yeah, that was one of the things. Like he go if he was in the store and he was searching for silver ticket, maybe, or maybe he encounters a kid in the store and the kid is opening maybe he's opening chocolate bars and trying to find a golden ticket, and that's all you say about it, It's meant to be a little in joke or little homage or whatever you want to call it. In fact, maybe that's how he gets the silver tickets because the kid finds a silver ticket when you talk to him. That might be a good idea. Uh, edit. 2024 December 20. Is it 22nd? 23rd. 2024. Just came up with there might be a child opening up candy bars to find a golden ticket, and John might have to talk to him to get the silver ticket, as that's not what he's looking for. So I might do it that way. It's where he goes into the store and he sees this kid and he's looking everywhere. Okay, when he's unwrapped the bar but doesn't eat it, John will talk too much and not allow any control until he eats the bar. Uh, when he reads the book, it tells him the past of the Enchanted Lands and it ends with the empty pages. It starts to fill with his adventure. Actually, I kind of like this idea, so I might actually have to put that in there now. This book is where the save games go via autosave, and that's probably a good idea. Once I get a system going that does that. John steps through the portal or wanders until he does. Once through the portal, he chooses a short fat man, put a device on the wall, returning to the seat, messes with the device, trains start tumbling, little man carefully picks his way, appears to be princess, sprinkles some dust on her and put her to sleep. He gets her over his shoulder, jumps out the door. John falls over and blinks out. When John comes to, he's in a forest strewn with garbage from the crashed train. An old man in blue approach him and they talk. Oh, and this is their discussion here. So I actually had a discussion for them already. See, I should have looked at this already. Where am I? You are in Enchanted Lands, my boy, a magical tourist destination for the ridiculously wealthy. Why am I here? I brought you here to help me find out why everything is closed. Why'd you pick me? Nose always in Brooks, no friends. You, in short, perfect. Who are you? Hubert's halfway, or a half-hearted wizard. I unfortunately have only half my magic, and when I say half, I mean quite literally half. Huh? You see, when we married, we would share half of our magic with our spouses, and she divorced me and shared her magic with someone else. Now I only have half of it. Of course, um, I guess, okay, so I guess it's about time for me to go now. Um, we'll pick this up later. Uh, I need to get ready to go, blah, 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 etc., and so forth. So, yeah. So I guess thanks for watching or listening a little bit. I know I didn't do that much here. Uh, good rest. Like the history. Do you plan on doing 3D, 2D, or using 2D on 3D? Um, sort of both. Uh, the the end uh, version, the final version, will have 3D model environment environment backgrounds with 2D sprites with 2D sprites for characters and props. The backgrounds will be textured to look like background paintings. That's why if you saw me play this little demo, this little program I'm making in Redot, it has text over top of 3D objects. Just placeholders, as the first phase is text only. Choose your own adventure style. Okay, so I've got to go, and so I'm just answering this person's question there. Um, so, anyways, Deve Sprava, if I pronounce your name right, um, is or was in the chat. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but I have to get going, and I'll return tomorrow at normal time, about 12 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is about I don't know, 5 hours out, 5 hours later UTC time or whatever. thanks. Let's see. Thanks, Davey. Or if I don't know how you pronounce your name, but thanks. Anyways, thanks. Okay, yeah. So, okay. So I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow at my normal time, and we'll continue on with the story here. And I'll try to be a little bit quicker, and I'll have a little bit more time. And yeah. And soon as I get the little short story done, then I'll go back to the actual game and I'll implement in choose your own adventure style the game. But I kind of need a full story in order to be able to do that. Anyways, I got to go real quick, so I'll see you guys later, and thank you again for watching or listening.